And we're back. I'm doing a follow-up to the video I posted the other day because that turned out to be one of the most watched videos within the time period since that video was published. Long story short, it's got more views in 3 days than my other videos did in the same time. So I decided to do a follow-up almost immediately. In this video, our two reds will get a touch of the blues. Which I mean, I both meet a blue warrior to make up their ranks, and the blues are from different groups to the reds. And I prepared a video footage to explain the history of those groups to those who are unaware of them. And here's the one for the blue that Takeru Shiba will be meeting.
2万年の封印が破れ復活したボーマ百族が地球へ侵略してきた。ボーマ百族と戦ったのは5人の高校生による高速戦隊ターボレンジャーだ。コンビネーションアタック。必殺技コンビネーションアタックは5人の心が一つにならないとできない難しい戦法だ。プラズマシュートは5人のビームエネルギーを一つにして敵に叩きつける必殺技だ。
I took that from a clip show created at the time with Bo Kenja. And now on with this. Author's note. Many thanks for the review even when it's just 4 reviews. To answer your questions, unfortunately I have bad news. I don't think I'll be including all full teams, so only a select few. I'm only human after all. At any rate, you can enjoy who appears in this chapter. Previously, on Chapter 1, Shiba Takeru, otherwise known as Shinken Red, has just finished a battle against Gedoshu. Shortly, he fought against the remnants of Gedoshu, no matter how weak it was, but after a phenomenon including the sky turning weird and an earthquake, he found out that something went amiss in the world. For instance, the whole resident of the Shiba house was gone. But apparently there was only one other resident, for Kuroko apparently had to live on the streets. He then encountered a strange book. Act 2, the boost from the past. Slowly, Takeru opened a book he just found, Super Sentai, a task force that protected the Earth ever since the ancient times. He read with a low voice, soon after learning about warriors who were chosen to fight evil years ago, starting from the Goat Rangers. He also found out that his group of Shinkenjin was included among the warriors of history, so my name was already marked in history. Who wrote this? Takeru wondered, closing the book, as he didn't find anything useful about the situation. Where did G and the others go? Maybe they know. Takeru then pulled out his shoulder phone and dialed a number. No answer. Takeru was bewildered after the call ended. He called in Ryunosuke, his most loyal vassal, who'd be more likely overjoyed if he called, but there was no answer. Takeru tried calling the other assholes, Ako, Chiaki, Kotaha, and Genta, but there were no answers as well, even though what he used was normal cell phone numbers. That brings up a point. Who is he trying to call to begin with? I'm drawing a blank there. What in the world is happening? Just as he sighed in frustration, he noticed something on the book. It was a mark of a university. It reads Shinko University. Thus, Takeru headed to the university, trying to return the book that he did not know to the university. What else was he going to do with it? He then headed to the information desk, on which an officer is waiting. Are they sitting on the desk? Good day, sir. May I help you? The lady asked. Ahem. Takeru coughed a bit before speaking, showing the book. I found this book at my home. It seemed like it belonged to this university, so I'd like to return it. The lady was silenced on looking at the book, which puzzled Takeru. Something wrong with this book? That's a separate paragraph. Never mind. Well, sir, we know it's sealed to our university, but we never had such book in our library. Such book. I'll let you figure out what's wrong there. So, the book wasn't even here? What is it sealed for then? Takeru wondered, but it was cut short when suddenly screams were heard from the front, accompanied with some beating sounds. What kind of beating? Even the lady was frightened and tried to move outside to see what happened. Students fighting? Could it be Gedoshu? Taku then rushed to the scene to find out what's going on. When Taku made it outside, a fight indeed has ensued. Slight tense trouble there. However, the perpetrator wasn't the Gedoshu at all. Instead, there were several soldiers in black, with a mask and clownish nose, accompanied with a monster in the form of a huge tower shield with arms and legs. He's not the Gedoshu. Taku confidently drew his Shinken mode to defend the innocents that these people attacked. I'm not sure if that sentence from Taku was a question or statement, since it's got both question and exclamation marks. You, what are you? Taku asked as the monster approached him, shortly after he took down several of the troops. I am a member of the Boma tribe. Shield Boma, the monster exclaimed. You've got guts to challenge me, little boy, but you should know that you'll never take me down. Boma tribe. Taku was surprised. He had never heard such thing before, but for some reason it sounded kind of familiar. Did he not read the book? Did he just look at the pretty pictures? His thoughts were cut off and the shield Boma swung his fist to him, which he dodged. Taku didn't waste any more words and swung his Shinken Maru to the shield Boma. However, true to its name, its defense is impenetrable, as it easily deflected Taku's Shinken Maru. The Boma monster began overwhelming Taku, with him unable to give him a scratch. While he fought, several of the soldiers snuck behind him and started attacking the other innocents watching. Damn it, Taku cursed. He tried to help, but the shield Boma barred his way. He'd only watched as the soldiers started attacking the innocents. Hold it! The soldier looked sideways and they saw a college student bravely running towards them and then started beating them up. Did the soldiers do that, or did the students? It's very worded very weirdly. Even when the soldiers were putting up resistances, he's strong. It's like he's fighting like a Shinkenger. Taku thought no as he witnessed the student fight. Well, except for the fact he's not using a sword, yeah, pretty much like a Shinkenger. Where are you looking at? Shield Boma reprimanded him as he swatted Taku aside. However, he shortly turned his back and walked away. Running away? Taku asked. Call it what you like, but I'm calling it a strategic retreat. I've suffered too many losses for this operation. The Boma tried and said, but remember, next time I will not run and you will die. With that, all of the soldiers retreated with the monster. Wait, Boma! The student yelled as he chased off the Boma and the soldiers, but it was apparent that he couldn't catch up. Damn, I never thought they, of all people, would be back in weird times like this. You, how do you know about those things calling themselves Boma? Taku asked the student as he got up. Of course I know, I've been fighting them for about a year or so, the student answered. By the way, you're pretty good, holding you on your own against them like that bravely. Well, I also had my share of fighting, Taku replied back. Whoa, the student looked in at Taku. So you're saying that you're a warrior on your own? Guess you can say that again. Do you study here? Taku asked back. Yeah, I'm still a freshman though, the student answered until he realized something. Ah, damn, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Yohei. How am I Yohei? Mental note, I'm not actually doing an impersonation since I haven't seen Turbo Ranger in any major capacity, so I'm just doing what I think he sounds like based on his appearance. Hammer Yohei. Taku was sure the name sounded familiar until he was reminded of the things he just read from the book. According to the book, Yohei was a member of one of the Super Sentai teams, in this case the Turbo Rangers who fought against the Boma tribe. This is Yohei from that book, the one who goes by the alias Blue Turbo. So as bones were passed, anything wrong? You don't look so good, Yohei asked when he realized Taku was spacing out. Huh? Oh, nothing, just thinking of something, Taku replied, trying to hide his thought. I'm Shiba Taku. Nice to meet you then. Yohei offered his hand for handshake, which Taku accepted. So, what are you here for? Trying to enroll here? No, Taku shook his head when he showed Yohei the book. I was trying to return this book since it has pursued to your university, but it looks like I was wrong. Well, if you'll excuse me. Wait a minute. When Taku tried to move away, suddenly Yohei grabbed his arm, stopping him in his tracks. What's that book? I don't know the details, but it's titled History of Super Sentai. It has a rather confusing detail, Taku replied. Wow, can I borrow it? Yohei asked, looking at the book with some enthusiasm. This is a pretty unusual book. This could get interesting. Huh? I mean, come on, it'd be a waste if you throw it away, right? Well, alright, Taku answered the handbook. Now, if you'll excuse me. Hey, where you going? Yohei asked him as Taku walked away. To the bathroom. Taku casually answered before he walked away. Before Yohei could give chase, he realised that his supposed break time was over and he had to go back to the college for the next lecture. Wait, then where's the business office if not on the college grounds? After the lecture was over, with nothing much to do, Yohei went outside and then sat below a nearby tree and opened the book from Taku, reading it. Super Sentai. Wait, we used to call ourselves Sentai, didn't we? Reminiscent of the moments he spent with his friends, Hono Riki, Yamagata Daichi, Hino Shunsuke, and Morikawa Haruna, all been fighting the Boma tribe as the Turbo Rangers. After the battle concluded 2 years ago, both went their separate ways, attending different universities to fulfill their dreams. Wait, both? Both what? In which they kept their own turbo braces to remember their friendship. Daichi and Shunsuke were doing well, though Yohei heard that Riki and Haruna had started dating months ago. Shipping, it's all the rage in fanfiction. Though Yohei himself used to flirt with her, he decided to let go as he knew Riki is the perfect match for her. Again, I haven't seen Turbo Ranger, so I cannot dispute that. Maybe I should arrange a reunion party one day, he thought, reading further after the Turbo Ranger entry in the book. He surprised on seeing how many Sentai teams that preceded him. Don't you mean succeeded? Wow, so these guys kept the future safe after all our efforts? Cool. Yohei kept reading until he reached the Shinkenja entry, which shocked him. Shinken read, Shiba Takaru? Yohei was shocked. The guy he just met was a Sentai warrior from the far future. 20 years probably isn't that far. Why was he here in the past timeline? Yohei also remembered that shortly after that one quake, his turbo blazers started acting weird, as if giving him more power. What's the meaning of this? Ceylon has already departed. We're Turbo Rangers no more. Does this mean whether that thought was cut short when there are more yelling this time? There are more yelling. Coming from the arch room of the college. The shield Boma has returned, and while his troops attacked any innocents that get in the way, he made his way to a huge glass shield that was shown out inside the arch room. That sentence seems to be changing tenses a lot. Ha ha! This is it! This is that shield! Boma said, picking it up and then absorbing it. With this, I'm even more invincible. But far enough, Boma. It was actually Takaru standing in front of the door to the art room. You again, brat! You never learn, do you? Shield Boma taunted him. I'd say you're overestimating yourself, Takaru said, slowly moving to him. I would let you do as you please. Prepare! Solophone! Ipit Soto! With a brush stroke, Taku then morphed into Shinken Red. What? You are those damn Turbo Rangers? Not quite. I am, Shinken Red said during his Shinken Maru. Shinken Red. Shiba Taku. Shinken Red. What's that? A Turbo Ranger wannabe? Boma taunted again. I told you I'm not a Turbo Ranger. I'm a Shinkenja. Shinken Red, pointing his Shinken Maru forward while he slowly walked. That brings up an interesting point. In the previous 10 Super Sentai appear in Turbo Ranger's first episode, and while the canonicity of that might be debated, I'm not sure what I was going to argue there, ignore me. Here goes. Ula soldiers, get him! The shield Boma ordered his men, which they quickly stormed Shinken Red. As he began fighting, Shinken Red realised that the Wooler soldier fought differently from the Nananshi Ranger he used to fight. However, such difference won't make him back down as the fight raged on to the school's outskirts, while any innocent people ran for their lives, not wanting to get involved with chaos. To spend several Wooler soldiers held hands each other, and turned themselves into a ball, charging and catching Shinken Red by surprise. What technique! Ha ha! Got caught off guard, did you? Boma taunted. Wannabes are still wannabes after all. Well, that caught me by surprise, Shinken Red said, putting his disc on his Shinken Maru. That doesn't mean I don't know how to counter it. Rekka Dai Santo! Summoning his huge sword, Shinken Red prepared for a Woolar soldier to come at him again. When they rolled up again, he instead swung the sword in a similar style of a baseball, knocking them away and turning them back to their humanoid forms. When more Woolar soldiers tried to gang up at him, Shinken Red swung his sword in full circle more traditionally, generating flames on his wake, and burnt the Ruler soldiers to crisp. He then dashed to the shield Boma and slashed him once, knocking him away several feet. "You brat!" Boma yelled in frustration. "You regret that you chose this day to face me." "I heard that many times, and people like you who would get destroyed soon," Shinken Red said. "Maybe you're not a good Oshu, but I'd surmise the usual extermination method works anyway to you." "Give it a shot!" The shield Boma beckoned as he pulled out the shield. He pulled the shield. Bit repetitive, just took from the art room, from his body. "Shield boost!" With that, an aura covered the Boma. Shinken Red ignored it and attacked anyway. No wonder he's a tactical genius. Even his Recordizanto is deflect easily. "What? Did you see that? My defenses are completely impenetrable. No sword, no matter how big, could cleave me." Boma tauntingly started attacking Shinken Red. He could only defend his swords were rendered useless. Damn, if only there was the Inromaru, or perhaps the Mogyu Bazooka. Shinken Red lamented the fact that some of these treasures were lost after the quake phenomenon. He still wondered where they went, but he had to deal with this one first. Without his vassals, he couldn't even access the long-range Uzutsu mode. Just then, he saw several Rular soldiers turning themselves into boars and assaulted the nearby innocents. Damn, the Kuroko isn't here. Shinken Red decided to abandon the fight with shield Boma and try to protect the innocents instead. But Boma jumped in front of him, barring his way. "You're not going anywhere!" Boma punched Shinken Red back. At this rate, the innocents would. Shinken Red lamented he saw the innocents getting attacked with no one to defend them. In which suddenly, Yohei arrived and once again fended off the Rular soldiers. "You!" the shield Boma cast. "Yohei," Shinken Red muttered. "Shinken Red. No, Shiba Takaru." Yohei, as he continued to fight off the Rular soldiers. "Why didn't you tell me your identity? But you're one of the Sentai team from the future." "Icha, the Samurai Sentai Shinkenger." "You read that much?" Shinken Red was surprised at Yohei's attentiveness. "Why? He had only just met the guy. I didn't know you'd go that far, but I thought you might get confused." "Of course not," Yohei replied back as he threw another Rular soldier. "There's a lot I'd like to ask, but I assume it's lottery numbers mostly. That can wait. For now, let's fight together." Shinken Red was silent. First he thought he'd be alone, but now a former Sentai warrior lent him a hand. Perhaps his quest to uncover his mystery wouldn't be so hard if he had allies. "Boma, not only you raided my college, you also hurt the innocents for no reason. I cannot forgive that." Yohei pointed at the shield Boma angrily. "Hey, let's go! Blue Turbo!" Yohei put his hand forward and clicked on his turbo brace, and in a short time he turned into his alter ego, Blue Turbo. "Turbo Ranger!" Shield Boma cursed his tribe's old adversary. "Prepare yourselves." Blue Turbo ran toward the shield Boma and began fighting him barehanded. It seems to be more effective in fighting swords. Wow, Shinken Red thought. Perhaps he's more vulnerable to fists. Well, this would be worth a shot. With that, Shinken Red soon joined Blue Turbo in attacking the shield Boma with just his fists and feet. Even though the Boma still mounted resistance, at least he's not deflecting attacks. Bit of a tense chain trouble there, making efforts to attack more productive. "Ha! You think just fists are enough to beat me?" the shield Boma taunted. He's persistent," Shinken Red grunted. Just then, Blue Turbo noticed something behind the Boma. He then said, "I know, this is the only chance." He then took several steps back and made a dash before jumping up, landing to Shinken Red's hands, which he pushed upwards, throwing Blue Turbo even further high. "Chesto!" Blue Turbo yelled as he gave a flying kick to the shield Boma, which pushed him backwards towards a big rock behind him. One of his shields smashed the edge of the rock, causing it to crack. "Ah, no, my back!" the Boma yelped in pain, running around. "Those metal weapons won't work against you. I guess your weakness was displayed by nature itself," Blue Turbo said. That shield on its back. It has a crack," Shinken Red noted. "He's a poet and he doesn't know it. It's up his weak point. You know a way to get around it?" "Yeah, but he seems pretty determined to guard his back," Blue Turbo nodded. "Well, I'll give you an opening then." Shinken Red then ran to a shield Boma and started fighting with Boma, again with his fist. Knowing this, Blue Terror ran behind the shield bowman as Shinken Red grappled with him. Now, do it! Shinken Red commanded. He struggled to keep his balance. Right, once he's hit, stand back. Blue Terror says he pulled his sidearm, a turbo laser, and his weapon, J-Gun. Then combined both his turbo laser with the J-Gun, forming his personal weapon, J-Machine Gun. With that, Blue Terror shot down a barrage of bullets aimed at Shield Bowman's cracked shield on his back, which greatly wounded him. Shinken Red jumped away as the bullets hit the Bowmer. While the Bowmer tried to turn away, covering his weak spot, Blue Terror didn't start shouting, which caused the Bowmer to eventually explode. Wait, I misread that. He was shooting, not shouting. I mean, can you imagine if he'd actually shouted? After putting guns to his side, Blue Terror put a V sign with his right arm. Victory! He exclaimed. Shinken Red only walked near him and offered his hand. Thanks for help. Yeah. No problem. This brings this chapter to a close. And I'll let the music finish before I move on to the next scene. Taku walked alongside Yohei until they reached the college. While there they spoke about their adventures and battles as Shinkenger and Turbo Ranger respectively. Whoa, even when your battles are as samurai, you even get these cool gadgets, Yohei exclaimed in awe. Wow, the future sure looks promising. It's all thanks to you protecting the past so we could fight, Taku replied back. Yeah, so what are you gonna do now? Yohei asked, in which Taku was silent. He'll probably try to search the rest of the Shinkenzas for a moment and find out how to get back to his time. However, he had a feeling that this wouldn't be done so easily. Well, I probably would stay around in the Shiba house, but I'll keep a lookout on my bum as well. That's great, and now I can count on you. Yohei was quite ecstatic. Well, if you'd like, here's where I live. Then handed down a card which mentioned an address, rather coincidentally. I tried to contact the rest of my friends, so... Hammer-kun! A female voice was heard from behind. It was a female classmate of Yohei. There you are, the meeting will begin soon. Stop slacking and come with me. Well, good luck then, Taku said, waving goodbye as he started moving away. Right, I'll see you soon, Yohei replied back as he was dragged away by his friend. That's how important it is to the plot that she's just his friend. She didn't even get mentioned again. It would appear that Taku was stuck in the past timeline, and he has met a warrior who used to be a Sentai warrior. However, how will he find out how to get back to his timeline? What destiny awaits him here? Super Sentai vs Super Sentai will continue at Act 3. Of note, yes, the new guy who appeared as Turbo Ranger is Yohei aka Blue Turbo. I've probably gone over this. Stay tuned because the next person to appear next chapter is even more old school. And speaking of schools, we're now on to the other half of the story with someone comparatively new. And I'll keep silent so I can play the next expositional video.
宇宙の犯罪者たちが地球にやってきて悪事を働き始めた。宇宙警察地球署では特捜戦隊デカレンジャーを組織し捜査を開始した。一口に宇宙犯罪者といってもさまざまな星の生物がいる。奴らの特殊能力を使った犯罪にはデカレンジャーも手を焼かされた。
Okay, it's been a year after the Masked Man Force defeated the Tube Empire under Zaber and helped restore it to its peaceful rulership. However, remnants of the Empire remained and attacked Chief Sugata Sanjuro. Realizing that their powers still lie within, both Taku and Mariko attempted to investigate. However, in the middle of battle, a phenomenon including the sky turning weird and earthquakes occurred, and Taku found himself whisked into another world. Only the book called History of Super Sentai is his only clue. But a rather redundant use of the word only, And I missed the author's note. I'm back, folks, and here's the second team story. Wow, it proves kinda hard, but I hope it does well. Here we go. Chapter 2. The Emergency from the Future Detective. Slowly opening the book, Taku read the opening passage of the book as he walked. A task force had protected the Earth ever since the ancient times. Super Sentai. Upon opening from pages to pages, he started learning about the Super Sentai of history. Starting from the Go Rangers. On reaching the Masked Man's entry, Taku smiled, happy that his efforts were marked on history. Opening further pages made him realize that the future generation was safe and protected by the future Super Sentai teams that succeeded his. Well, it's good that the future is bright and protected, he thought, but a lingering feeling of anguish still struck him. I hope Chief and Momoko are okay. While he continued to walk, following the road provided by the shore, Taku eventually came upon a town. He didn't recognize the town at all. Where in the world is this? I've never seen a town like this. Just then he noticed a man wearing a long jacket covering his face walking nearby. Taku decided to call him as he approached the man. Excuse me, sir, I'd like to ask some questions. Yes? The man turned to him and suddenly revealed his face, an elongated head with dangling fin-like ears with eyes that were rather popped out. Gah! This revelation shocked Taku that he jumped backwards a bit. What in the world are you? Huh? Me? I'm a Goonian, he said. Never heard of aliens, huh? Aliens? Taku couldn't believe his ears. He just met an alien and he was casually talking to him like nobody's business. Oh man, is it like a bad dream? Don't worry, I don't eat humans. Aliens and humans coexisted each other fine here. I think there's a whiff missing, the Goonian said, looking to the sky again. Ah, such peace is enjoyable. Okay, put it together, Taku. Just treat him like a normal man. Taku tried to collect his composure before he asked again. Okay, Mr. Goonian, if I may ask, do you know where this is? You're not native of this town, are you? The Goonian asked. This is Megalopolis. Megalopolis? Taku was shocked again. He's never heard a town in Japan named as such. However, he quickly took a deep breath. Okay, it's a new town I've never been. It's just that's it. Okay, keep cool. Despite being overwhelmed with various new things he didn't know about, Taku tried to stay collected at all costs. Well, since you look really new to this town, you may as well walk around, the Goonian said. I'd love to give you a tour, but I have a business to do. A business. I hope you're well. Will do. Thank you very much, sir. Taku bowed in gratitude and smiled, waving his hands as the Goonian left. However, he didn't know that there was a smile formed in its mouth as he left. Probably because it's one of those rubber suit monsters where a smile is something that it cannot do. Taku spent several hours visiting various places. As he had no money, he was unable to purchase anything, let alone food. There are a lot of new things to him, and he's had trouble in keeping up with the new information. Just then, he heard a scream from behind him. What was that? Taku quickly turned back and ran to the direction of the scream. He then witnessed a man holding another man on the head, and a flashlight shone from the man, distracting Taku to cover his eyes from its blinding light. When the light faded, Taku witnessed the culprit of the event, which turned out to be a man that looked like him. Not this again, Taku muttered, cracking his knuckles, being reminded of a dogler monster that once impersonated him. He then approached to look like, You, what are you doing about man? Oh my, I never thought I'd meet someone who looked like me, the boss Oster said. Fortunately, I have bigger fish to fry, so I'll leave these Igoroids to you. As he snapped his finger, he summoned several soldiers clad in silver and black suit, approaching Taku. What are these things? Taku was shocked at the new enemy. However, the impersonator used the chance to flee. Wait! Taku called out. These Igoroids released their weapons. A medium-sized sword used to cleave things, and they barred Taku in trying to get to the impersonator. A battle was unavoided. However, having been fighting the English soldiers all the time, Taku noticed that these Igoroids have similar fighting pattern. I think there's an A missing there. With it, he managed to take out the Igoroids one by one, even though they have sturdier body. Mispluralization. However, one Igoroid managed to sneak behind him and prepared to attack him. Damn! Taku uttered as he prepared to block. However, suddenly something blasted the Igoroid's back and it fell to the ground and stopped moving. What? Before Taku could grasp what's going on, more Igoroids fell after similar blasts that were hit on their chest. Is it an assassin? Taku wondered as one by one Igoroids fell, leaving him alone. decided to investigate the fallen soldiers only to find out they're completely machines. Shouldn't that have been obvious by how hard they were? Robots, Takaru muttered. Why create something like this? Like a criminal empire or something? Hold it right there. A voice rang behind Takaru. When he looked back, he saw a man in a blue-black police suit pointing a gun to him. Ah, were you the ones who shot down these guys? Once, Takaru asked, but the man did not answer. Thank you very... Before Takaru could finish the sentence, the man grabbed his wrist and proceeded to bind them with handcuffs. Gunian Arc Gym Bars. You are under arrest, the man coldly said, now pointing a gun to Takaru's chest. Wait, this alien named Jark Jim Bars. Rearrange that? Jar Jar... Oh, this monster's based off Jar Jar Binks. Maybe that high-pitched voice was a bit too appropriate. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Takaru's protest fell on deaf ears as the man dragged him away. Minutes later, Takaru found himself being interrogated by that man in what would seem to be a high-tech building. That's why I told you, I'm not this Judge Arc Jim Bars. You can't lie to me, the man who had now ended up interrogating Takaru insisted. Take a look at this. He then typed the table, which reveals a video. In the video, the impersonator was seen holding another woman with his hand on his head and making her vanish using the same light. This was you, right? Where did you take your victims to? Where? The man got rather emotional and was angry enough he was considering raising his fist for a punch on Takaru's face. Hey, wait a minute. I've seen that guy doing it, Takaru commented. Still in delusion. You're unbelievable. The man suddenly said, slipping out a broken English phrase in process. This will be a challenge to me, trying to get phenoms of the English language totally wrong. Unbelievable? Is this guy a fanatic of the Western culture? Takaru wondered at the man before speaking again. I'd like to attest that I'm new here. The man was taking aback at Takaru's new determination. Now let me ask, when did that happen? You don't just shoot it on purpose, right? Yesterday. It was caught on the surveillance camera. The man answered. Well, I'll have you know that I just arrived here today, Takaru answered confidently. Therefore, I can't be doing that crazy stuff. They're doing that crazy stuff. I'm no alien. What did you say? The man shook his head, at first not wanting to accept the statement. Takaru's eyes showed complete determination that somehow he knew that it wasn't the eyes of blind people. Thus he realised that he made a mistake. Very well, that was a miss in me. The person I'm targeting just had a similar look to you and I just got the wrong person to arrest, he admitted. I'm sorry. Well, if you know... Oh, that's good, Takaru said. One more thing though. My name's not Jack Jim Bars. It's Takaru. Here. Alright, Takaru. But it's my turn for introducing myself. Man answered as he released Takaru's handcuffs key. I am Tomasu Hoji of the SBD. Hoji. Name rang a bell in Takaru's mind, which reminded me about the history of Super Sentai book. According to a book, he was one of the Super Sentai warriors by the team of Deca Ranger. Doesn't that be the name of Deca Ranger? Fighting the alienizer crime and supposedly still continued to fight to this day. He doesn't even know what this day is. Which also reminded me about where the Deca Ranger was stationed, the Megalopolis. Does this mean I'm thrown to the future? Since you've proven your innocence, you can leave now, Hody said to him. However, Takaru did not move at all. What? You're not moving? No, nothing. It's just, Takaru said, thinking about what happened to your friend Hody had. Something has been bothering me for a bit. You're alone? But none of your business, Hody dismissed him. I have other things to do. I repeat, you can leave. Realizing that Hody had no intention of revealing further, Takaru eventually gave up and left the room. Before he could leave, however, his stomach rumbled. Damn, he muttered in embarrassment. At any rate, Takaru, wasn't it? Suddenly Hoji approached him and handed down several coins to his hand. There's a cafeteria on the lower floor. Go ahead and eat. My treat. Well, that's a lifesaver, all right, Takaru said happily. Thanks a lot. Well, just consider it one of my ways to apologize for accusing the wrong person, Hoji said, trying to make an excuse before trying to exit the room. Come on, I'll lead you there. Takaru soon followed. Eventually, after accompanying Takaru in eating and sending him out to the base, Hoji was left in the main office to do most of the paperwork he was assigned to. The Deca base sure has gotten less lively than last year, where he fought the black market dealer Agent Umbrella. He didn't remember exactly happened. I think there's a what missing there, but at one point when he woke up in the morning, Felt that something was wrong. When he arrived at the Decker base, none of his friends were there. Not even Sen, Jasmine, Umiko and Tetsu were there. Even Boss and Swan, trying to contact his partner Ban and his superiors didn't do at all. Now he knows Hoji isn't Ban's partner. There was no response. This brought chaos within base, especially the younger cadets. At that point, Hoji was confused about being left alone. In the end, he was determined that he'll manage the place until they return, or he found out what happened to them. Death Agent Umbrella made his job at least easy to a point he could do most of the jobs alone, albeit a bit boring, but Hoji was no person to complain about that. When he heard about the Goonie and Jark, Jimbars appeared, he witnessed the alien making people vanish, looked into his records of making people vanish, but in actuality transporting them into another place unknown, and that he's done that to 100 planets. He was more than determined to stop him, thinking that he might be responsible to the vanishing of his friends. Just Ben when cleaning up most of the paperworks. Why is that word pluralized constantly? Hoji noticed something amongst the paper he was working on. Rather, a book. History of Super Sentai, he muttered, opening a book until he remembered something. But Taku guy forget to pick it up? Out of curiosity, however, Hoji started opening the book and reading it. He realized that there were a lot of predecessors to the Deca Rangers, as well as some successors. He noticed the likes of Abba Rangers and Magi Rangers that fought alongside him at one time were included in the book. When he reached the Maskman section, he was surprised. "Oh my God!" he uttered in yet another broken English phrase, realizing that the Taku he met was Red Mask of the Masked Man. In other words, he just tried to arrest his senior in protecting Earth as the Super Sentai. Just then the base gave out an alarm, signifying there's trouble within the town. Shortly after, a video was shown showing the Taku imposter. "Here, to the SPD, I'd like to issue a demand. Never try pursuing me again, or else I'll make hundreds of people inside the Shisora Tower vanish forever." What followed was a scenery of the Shisora Tower inside the Megalopolis, a tall office building, being surrounded with Igoroids, its people inside taken hostage. "God damn!" Hoji uttered, again in broken English phrase. Was he conversing with the real deal before? Was it another mistake? Was the book a bunch of lies made by alienites to distract him? If it was, then it's a very good book. Look for a lie. There was only one way to find out, and that's for Hoji to jump into the scene of crime. There's a definitive article missing there. Just as Taku was getting out, he realized something. He lost his book. Wait, don't tell me I left it there. Damn, and I just walked on quite a distance from my base. Then ran off, heading back to the Decker base, where he stopped for a while when he looked at the tall building, where he saw the imposter of his walking with several Igoroids. "If the demands are not met, everyone inside is going to vanish," the Taku lookalike said. "This building is now my property. Any funny moves and I can make it vanish and go on to another place." Then he turned to Igoroids. "I'm off somewhere else. Guard this place." The robots nodded and the lookalike left. "That bastard!" Taku cursed, looking at how the imposter used his face to do nefarious things, thus giving him a bad image. Just made him realize something. "Wait, I think I got a good idea." Shortly after, Taku boldly walked to the Igoroids. "You all," he said to him, distorting the voice so it matched his pauses, which basically acknowledged due to seeing a face in the voice. Lining up, they awaited Taku's command. "Ahem." Taku then coughed it to prepare something. "I'm sick of this place, and these fools aren't worth anything. Set them free and tell them to buzz off. I'm going to have to take some other place my bargaining chip." In a sudden, the Igoroids saluted in agreement and started picking up their communicators. Shortly after, people started running off the building. "Wow, I can't believe that worked." "Wait!" A voice suddenly was heard from behind. It was the imposter. It caused confusion to the Igoroids, even though most people ignored them all. "You! What are you doing to my soldiers? Do you realize what you've done, you imposter?" Is that a statement or a question? Because again, arc's been misused. "That's my line," Taku yelled. "How dare you impert in my face and make me get arrested for nothing? I swear you're gonna pay for that." "Doesn't matter," the imposter then turned to the soldiers. "All of you, get these balls back into the building." Whether with two men looking alike, just confused soldiers. "I guess for this occasion there's no need to have any disguises." With that, in a flash, the imposter revealed his true form. The Gunian that Taku met short before. "Wait, you're that Gunian?" Taku said in disbelief. "Indeed, I'd hoped we'd never meet since you'll rot in jail while I do my stint," the Gunian said. "It's as you guessed, I am Jark Jimbars." "What?" Taku said in disbelief. "Were you planning this all along?" Not really, but this is one opportunity I cannot miss, Jimbo said. To meet someone who looked exactly like my human guys. I can pin the blame on you while I do most of my activities myself. Making people vanish, take them to other dimensions. I had fun watching it at my TV at home. Fun? You bastard! Taku growled, hearing the aliens quickly revealed himself to be able to recall competent tube journals like Anagamasu of Emperor Zebra. You endanger innocent people. You tried to frame from your crimes. Unforgivable! Taku couldn't take it any longer. He raised his fist and gave out a yell. Aura Mask! In a short time, he transformed into Red Mask, which surprised Dark Dimbars. What? I heard Deca Red has transferred into another planet. Deca Red? You've got the wrong person. I am, Red Mask said in calm anger. Red Mask? Red Mask? That won't matter once I beat you to a pulp. To pulp! Red Mask shouted, gathering most of his own power. Apparently he's going to reduce him to the stuff they use to make paper. Dark Dimbars only commanded the Igoroid to attack him, but with Red Mask empowered with aura power that took against the Tube Empire. That probably could have been worded a lot more clearly. The Igoroids were no match for him, no matter how many. However, Dark Dimbars was able to summon a lot of Igoroid, as in an endless supply. Hey, haha, you may be strong, but I know your strength has a limit. Dark Dimbars laughed triumphantly. Shut up, as long as I have my aura power, my energy is limitless. Red Mask shouted back, howling his determination, kept on fighting. Bah! All talk, Dark Dimbars said nonchalantly before gesturing. Next wave, go! There was no response. I said next wave, go! Still no response. Eventually, Dark Dimbars turned back and saw the next wave has been taken down by Hoji single-handedly. What? I finally got your tail, Dark Dimbars, Hoji said coldly, pointing his sniper rifle to the alien. No more resting. You said why you captured those people. There's no escape this time. You shall face your judgment soon. The SBD, Dark Dimbars said shocked. Hoji! Red Mask was surprised seeing Hoji, but his next act surprised him. Item, Red Mask. No, Takaru. Hoji started. Not just the storms the book you left behind described. What? How did you? Red Mask was shocked to remember about the book again. So, you were reading that? Yes, and you know who I am, I presume. Hoji said as he held his SB license. Knowing that, we'll fight together. You! Dark Dimbars uttered, but Hoji ignored it as he beat the yell. Emergency! Deca Ranger! Once Hoji said it, the SB license sent out a signal, signifying the Deca base send him a particle that transformed him into a blue-suited warrior. Face on! Once he said it, headed over a blue Sentai-like helmet. Apparently Deca Ranger isn't a real Sentai, just Sentai-like. So you're here, Red Mask said to a transformed Hoji. Pursue mysterious cases. SBD, he said before declaring his transformed name. Deca Blue! Damn it! Dark Dimbars cursed. He tried to attack Deca Blue. He was swatted aside with a kick, while Deca Blue quickly ran to attack the Igoroid surrounding Red Mask. He eventually ended up surrounded with the Igoroid. It's like a pluralization there. Them stand by on their fighting pose. So you can take him? Red Mask asked. That's melee. I've been fighting these all these years. Deca Blue answered, full of confidence. Well, do you see most of them in scraps over there? Red Mask talked back. I made him like that alone. Good, let's make more. As soon as Deca Blue stepped back, both Sentai warriors started fighting the Igoroids. As Deca Blue has been more open with teamwork ever since last year, he wasn't as awkward when it comes to an initiative and prepared teamwork. Following his instinct as he learned from his friends, he managed to keep his balance with Red Mask and wiped out most Igoroids. Damn, at this rate, this'll do. Dark Dimbars utterly opened his chest armor, revealed an orb which started shining in a yellow flash. That's it. Deca Blue managed to spot the action and turned to Red Mask. Roll, now! Huh? Red Mask did not understand what it meant. Just do it! Deca Blue insisted, thus Red Mask went ahead to roll sideways while Deca Blue rolled to the side. Dark Dimbars then unleashed a yellow beam that went through the Igoroids remaining. The beam was thankfully dodged by both Red Mask and Deca Blue, probably because they went to the side. However, the robots vanished. Dang, I missed! Dark Dimbars cursed when he missed the target. What? So is it what you meant, vanished and taken to other dimension? Red Mask said, witching the act with his own eyes. When he imagined it happening to humans, he was utterly angry. You monster! Shut up! Dark Dimbars yelled. He tried to fire another beam. Damn, how do we... Red Mask tried to think of how to handle the beam when he saw Deca Blue already taking a starting position. He was shocked. What are you doing? Shut up, don't break my concentration. Deca Blue told him off, and eventually Red Mask understood what he meant, even though he slightly taken aback his aloofness. There is no escape, Dark Jimbars said. Our charger belonging up the beam will widen. Rolling won't save you. Now, once Deca Blue said the phrase, he pulled the trigger, sending a beam that hits right on the orb at the center of Dark Jimbar's body, interrupting his attack. Laser arrow! Just to make sure it's destroyed for sure, Red Mask covered his sword with energy and threw the energy to the same spot where Deca Blue shot his rifle, showing nothing but the destruction of the orb at the center of Dark Jimbar's body. No! My dimensional beam! Dark Jimbar said and started bawling like a baby, frustrated by his ultimate weapon has been destroyed. As such, people started putting him there. Dang, why isn't those mecha available in the market anymore? Probably because the Deca Rangers killed both suppliers. He cursed when he tried visiting areas, has heard that someone sold him giant machines that could give him a leverage. However, the products seem to have been sold out or unavailable. Looks like everyone's freed from that dimension you speak about, Red Mask said as he witnessed some people having a reunion with their world and their beloved ones that they left. My friends are probably amongst them too, but first, Deca Blue then approached Dark Jimbars with his SP lies in front. Goonie and Dark Jimbars, making hundreds of civilians from 100 planets, and torching them in dimensions for your own amusement. Judgment! Using the judgment time, the Deca Ranger is able to request the ultimate court to judge whether the alienizer is guilty or not. For Dark Jimbar's case, he was declared guilty immediately. Delete approved. Deca Blue says he prepared his weapon. For D-Sniper, set to D-Sniper! Ah! Please spare me! Dark Jimbar soon out, begging for mercy, reducing himself to a bawling coward. No pleading will save you from your crimes. Deca Blue blushed off all his pleas, cold and continued. Set, charge, strike out! But he shot a very powerful bullet headed to Dark Jimbars as the bullet obliterated and completely destroyed the alienizer. Well, such things doesn't really require a SWAT mode to defeat. Wow! Red Mask in awe on how Deca Blue finished the enemy. After his age, the Super Sentai has become so abundant of technology more complex than the ones he used to know. Oh, no big deal, Deca Blue said, putting away his rifle. With this case complete! Shortly after, he started pointing himself and said proudly but with broken English, Super cool, perfect. What does that? Red Mask was taken aback with Deca Blue's sudden declaration that shows quite the arrogance. Nothing, just a reassurance of mine that I've done my job. Deca Blue says he reached out to his communicator. Boss, it's me, Hoji. Do you read me? There's no answer. Boss! Deca Blue calling again, but there's still no answer. Sen! He tried calling another of his friends, there's still no answer. Jasmine! Umiko! Tetsu! Swan-san! Frustrated, he called out one last option. Ban! And yet no one answered. Oh my god! Deca Blue uttered in disappointment. They weren't attacked by Dark Jimbars. Then, where am I? Am I the only Deca Ranger remaining? That sounds familiar. Red Mask suddenly reminded of his inability to contact his friends. I think I kinda get what's going on. Really, Deca Blue said. This might take long, but let's talk about it in the Deca base. Arriving at the main office of Deca base, Taku shared his story of Hoji, how he became separated with Momoko and the rest of the Masked Man. I think you're experiencing the same, Taku concluded, comparing his tale of Hoji's. Well, indeed, that day when everyone started vanishing, there was an earthquake. Hoji noted, remembering how he fell to the ground into the quake. This story is unbelievable. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but it happened. I suppose we have to solve this if we want to reunite with our friends, Taku said. I don't think I can do this alone. Well, I agree, Hoji nodded at the notion. This is going to be one big case, but I don't think I can pursue and solve alone. I'll need all the help I can. So what do you say? Taku stood up and offered his hand for handshake. We're both Super Sentai fighters, so we should stick together for now. Partners? Partners, huh? Hoji stood up and offered his hand as well as they both shake hands. That's slightly confusingly worded. However, while shaking hands, he declared, friends. What? Taku was shocked at Hoji's declaration. I'm not good enough to be your partner? Don't call me partner, Hoji said aloofly. I don't declare partners that quick. Well, I guess so. Taku finally agreed with the deal of being just friends. But regardless, let's do our best so you can restore things to normal. That I agree. Friend, Hoji smiled and commented. You can stay here for a while. Great, thank you, Taku says. He finally had a steady base after about a day. He swore that he would solve this mystery around the world. out as well, and with another Super Sentai warrior, he might not be doomed to fail after all. What the future hold for these two? To be continued. Author's note. And yes, there's our second member, Hoji from Decorator. Sorry for all Jasmine fanboys out there. I do wish I could include her as well, since she's also one of my favourites, but I have other priorities and I've decided my team, which is pretty final. You're free to guess who's going to be in next, though. By the way, just in case you don't know, if Hoji's words is italicized, that means he's saying it in broken English like his usual habit. Constructive criticisms and reviews are always welcome. Well, both those chapters were pretty much covering the same basics, and I think they did a fairly alright job of that. Well, I'll see you next time when I try and get past the fact that I have to do 2 separate squeaky voices. I hope I can get through that.